What is up, bros? I'm Josh here, and welcome to episode 2, chapter 3 of our Road to Tier 10 series. Our series, we're going over every line in World of Warships and really breaking them down and seeing which line gets the Tier 10 the fastest. In this chapter, we went over the high tiers in the French Battleship line. As you can see, we got the Republic, so we finished the line off, and this line was actually a lot of fun to play, and really I think will be one of the benchmarks of this whole series on getting to Tier 10 the fastest. This line actually got there really quickly. I think overall, I think one of the fastest lines will potentially be a destroyer line, one of the battleship lines, or potentially the Royal Navy cruiser line. I think overall the cruisers will probably be one of the slowest, but this line was actually a lot of fun. I find the French battleship lines to be one of the most fun lines because of their flexibility, their speed, and just overall amazing secondaries, and just being fun to play. And I think relatively strong. They play their role pretty well, but again, more fun than anything. But let's kind of dive in and go over the high tiers. So in the last episode, we went over the middle tiers, which was the Tier 6 and the Tier 7, the Normandy and the Lyon. And in this one, we have, of course, the Richelieu, the Tier 8, the Alsace, the Tier 9, and, of course, the Republic at Tier 10. So now our second Tier 10, we have the Yu Yang as well as the Republique. And let's kind of dive into some stats. So going over this line, the Republic for me at Tier 8 was something on my main account, which I obviously have. And I remember the ship being overall pretty good. This one was a super struggle for me. I don't remember it quite being as much of a struggle. It was even kind of hard for me to find enough clips to really kind of show what this ship can do really well. I was struggling with this ship. Not only the matchmaking I felt overall was pretty good, but this one I think I don't remember it being. I don't want to say bad. We still had a pretty good win rate at 60%. 52 games played that. If you can compare that to, let's just say, the Hinson Yang at 34 games. So it took us much longer. Now, with the Hinson Yang, we're probably going to end up having to do the Pan-Asian line again. That's something a little different. But the Richelieu, 52 games to get through it. Took us much longer than expected. And just overall, if we even compare it to the Lyon was averaging almost 300 more XP per game and almost 20,000 more damage per game. Well, I guess about, what is that? About 16k more. So Tier 7, of course, with really good matchmaking. Tier 8 with decent matchmaking, we were averaging much less, and just took us a while to get through it. We actually even had to go through on the modules with the Richelieu, and the thing I love about, we took these off because we're so credit crunched. The thing that I love about the French battleship line is their ability to use the secondaries, but I felt so inconsistent with the Richelieu's guns that I had to switch out the secondary range for the main battery accuracy. I just needed it. I felt like it did make a pretty big difference, just at 7%, but I did see a kind of lack of the secondary punishments when it came to the Richelieu, so I just had to mainly focus on the guns, which was cool and all that. It was kind of fun, but I had to end up being a bit more of a sniper. Obviously, the French line not known for being extremely tanky, known for being kind of this quick, agile, damage-dealing ships, but the Richelieu still showed its strength of being, as the whole French line is, basically the second half line, especially once you get into the high tiers, about using your guns, using your secondaries, using all that kind of stuff to really kind of push in and get a lot of aggression in late game. And this ship was just so hot and cold for me. It was one game it would kind of slay, and the next game you wouldn't hit anything. And there was many situations where I remember saying, man, if I was in any other Tier 8 battleship, I would have been able to do something. And really, with the artillery being some of the smallest at its tier, with 380 millimeters, you get into situations where you're going to be bouncing a lot of shells, and that was kind of a major downside. A very high velocity shell with a very small shell. You're getting a lot of overpens as well. I don't want to poop on the ship too much, though, because I did have some pretty nasty games when it came to this. Still decent damage, but still, I mean, 75k or something like that. I feel like I had bad luck when it came to this ship. There was a lot of games where I felt like I was just not really able to do a lot of damage, and I would really wish I was in like some other ships that would have been able to be a bit more impactful. Still held, we can dive in a little bit more to the stats. Still held a really good solo queuing Tier 8 win percentage of 60%. And but the main battery accuracy at 37. If we can pull up the Lion was 27. Well, I guess Lion's kind of inaccurate, but 33%, still not too bad. But that 76,000 damage, that's extremely low for most Tier 8 battleships, at least for me, it seems like. But still, overall decent stats, and it was good. I was very, very excited to get done with this ship. It just felt very meh. It kind of felt like the Bretagne. I think the Bretagne got picked on a little bit more at tier 5 because of the matchmaking more than anything. This, I was kind of ready to get over. It was kind of weird, and this is why I like doing this series so much. I don't remember it being quite like this when I was first going through the ship. I had a lot of fun in the ship, but it was kind of fun to see what was different in this time around. So overall, the Richelieu, I would put it right in the middle ground. It was kind of mediocre. There was many situations where it was still fun to play this and be able to flex around with that. I think overall as a player, I was being probably a bit too aggressive at first and just needed to kind of wait and see what would happen on the team and then make my push. But I was extremely happy to move on from the tier 8 to the tier 9, the Alsace. Now this ship has gotten nerfed and nerfed and nerfed, and it's still just insane. This thing is still so good. I love this ship. Let's check out the stats really fast. Add a tier 9 ship. Summary, we can go to this, and then there's the Alsace. 63% at a solo queue in tier 9, 105k average damage, and really, really good XP. Got done, what, the Richelieu, the tier 8, took us 52, and it only took us 12 more games to get done with the tier 9. So that kind of just shows how much more you're able to do, but averaging over 100k, and we just had good game after good game after good game in this ship. 200,000 games, cracking here, cracking there. And the thing I love about this ship is just being able to, one, use its guns and use its secondaries. This thing is just an absolute monster. And as you saw earlier, I talked about how this is a really second half ship. It really is, because you can then push and really get aggressive if you kind of save a little bit of your life, because you can just cause mayhem, lighting fires, hitting DDs, close quarter experts. And one thing I love to do with this ship too is push in early on a cap, use that speed and flexibility. Maybe I'll trade some life, but if I support a destroyer and especially get within that secondary range, when it came to this ship, we could get an early kill on that DD, an early kill, an early lead, and really pump out a lot of damage. So many dev strikes when it came to this ship. We would just absolutely obliterate everyone, and really I was just able to not only, again, flex a lot around the map because of the speed, but really just I can't say how awesome the ship still is. Now, there were situations that a lot of people talk about how inaccurate or the guns can be. Yes, you do definitely see that. There were games where it's just like, well, okay, the Alsace is not happy today. It's just not going to hit ships. But overall, I mean, this thing was just an absolute beast. And one, it would be all over the place, and then the next salvo would shoot absolute lasers, and you dev strike something off the planet. But still, this thing was an absolute monster at tier 9. I enjoyed playing it. The one thing that was kind of weird was I was solo queuing battleships in high tier, so you were at the mercy of high tier matchmaking. There were streaks where I would win 8 games in a row, and then there were streaks where I'd lose 4 games in a row. So like there were days, I think back-to-back days, where we lost like 5 games in a row, 4 games in a row with this ship, because there's only just so much you can do. And especially not being able to just like straight up out tank a lot of stuff. You're kind of just this DPS battleship. This damaging battleship, you did kind of lose some battles that way. And I feel like I did get a little greedy with this ship, but once I kind of figured out to, one, get aggressive early, help support a cap, get that cap advantage, and then play a bit, I would say a bit more slow, and then just slamming those secondaries down the enemy's throats late game, and just being this monster that's so tough to deal with, I felt like really, really worked with this ship in general. And man, it's a bummer to sell this ship. I need the credits though, but the Alsace is amazing, and I love this. And this is probably one of my favorite ships on this line. It's still so good even after the nerfs. I made a video a while ago to still talk about how good this ship is after the nerfs. It's definitely an amazing ship. One of the most fun ships, I think, on this line to play, and definitely worth keeping. One of the highlights of the ship, and we got through it, not too bad. So overall, sorry, I'm still sick, fighting a sick from all the conventions I've been to. Overall, it was 187 games to get through all of the ships, and then we've gotten to the Republic. Check out these stats so far on the Republic. 5 games played, 100% win rate, insane XP, and we're averaging almost 172k. The Republic's just an absolute beast. It's such a damaging... look how consistent we've been. Our highest damage is 202 so far in 5 games, but we're averaging 1. So we're basically hitting, 160 to about 200 right there every game. So kind of nuts, but this thing has just been an absolute beast, and it's cool to get our second tier 10 done. We can start working on that second legendary mod just to have it done. But anyways, guys, that's it. We've let people vote in chat live on stream. We play all this live on stream, so come and hang out on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/meanjosh. I'll put a link down below. And it's good to get done with a second line. But the next line we are going over is the Russian destroyer line, and we're going towards the Grozavoy. So we hit the Badovsky last night, which was kind of cool, and we're going towards the Grozavoy. So from DD to Battleship back to DD is what people want to see. So that's what we're going to be doing next. But the French Battleship line is finished. We finally got the Republique, and it's an absolute slayer. But overall, this line is awesome. Really, I just think there are a couple duds when it comes to this line. I think the Bretagne gets unlucky because of matchmaking. I think the Bretagne overall is decent. I really do. But the thing about it is you just get bottom tiered so much. Tier 5 matchmaking is brutal. And I think really the only hurdle ship, honestly, okay, Bretagne, but it's tier 5, you can get through it pretty quick, is the Richelieu. And I think that's going to be from player to player. It's a playstyle difference. I think I personally was playing it incorrectly for a while, which added a bunch of games to it. But overall, the ship can be very successful. But I think Richelieu, honestly, is one of the lower, is on the bottom tier of definitely tier 8 battleships. But you can still have a lot of fun, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun. If you haven't checked out this line, be sure to do it. There's so many good ships. You know, you have the Normandy at tier 6, really fast, really fun. The Lyon at tier 7, just a saving ship for sure. The Alsace, even after all the nerfs, like it or not, it's still fantastic, and this thing is so much fun. You guys will enjoy it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the French Battleship, which is your favorite, and if you guys have even played the high tiers, what you guys think of the high tiers, and what you guys think of the line in general. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.